Good morning, everyone. This is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective. For those of you who don't know me, I am a coach. I've decided to go live on my profile today. If you would like a copy of this webinar, the presentation, please do go to the link and register, and you will receive a copy in your email box. Okay, so the webinar, do you have self-determination? If not, how do we develop it? So the topics we're going to talk about today is what is self-determination, what promotes a person's motivation behind their self-determination, and how do we become more self-determined? So firstly, we're going to look at what is self-determination. So self-determination is really defined as something that's a personal decision to yourself. It's a certain way that you think about something. Often an example might be, just an example, you might decide to run a marathon. Good on you if you do. You might decide to run a marathon without asking someone's opinion about it. So it's really having that innate ability to make personal decisions for yourself. So self-determination, there is a self-determination theory, and it suggests that people are motivated and grow to change by three innate psychological needs. And those are basically the needs of competence, connection and relatedness to other human beings, social groups, and the autonomy. Those three things need to be fulfilled for you to be someone with self-determination. Okay. So what promotes a person's motivation? So the concept for what we call intrinsic motivation or engaging in activities is really about the rewards of the behavior that it gives you. So you do a behavior and it gives you an intrinsic reward, intrinsic meaning more of an internal reward than an external reward. So this really does play an important role in someone's self-determination, and it helps people be driven and motivated because we're able to make these active decisions. We move towards certain directions that put us in a place of growth, that put us in a place of change, and it really gives us a sense of fulfillment, a sense of knowledge, and really a level of independence. So while people are often motivated to act on external needs such as money, prizes, even acclaim, their ego, these rewards aren't something that are constant. But if you look in the internal behavioral rewards that you get from being motivated and having self-determination, they're things that will last. They're things that become a pattern in your life, and they're things that you can stick with. Okay, so it has been suggested that, as I mentioned before, that for people need the following three things. Okay, so when we talk about autonomy, what we're talking about is people need to feel as though they are in control of their own behaviors and goals. And I think that's really important, especially in the current climate we've been facing. It's a sense of being able to take your own direction. It's a sense of being able to be a part of the real change in your own and personal lives, whether that's helping yourself or helping others, and really having that innate feeling of being self-determined and motivated behind your goals. The next one I spoke about was competence. Competence is people's need to gain a mastery of skills, tasks, whether that means you have to go out and learn a new skill or task, or whether you already have mastered that skill and task. But it's showing a level of confidence. And when people have that feeling of being confident, that they know what they're doing, they know how to do it, it really helps drive their skills. It helps push them towards the success that they want to take. And it puts them in places where they can take further actions towards their goals. The next one we looked at was connection or relatedness. And this is really something that's important. And with everything that happened, especially here in Melbourne, we were quite, shall I say, segregated from the closest people to us and the people we love the most. You know, at one stage there, we couldn't travel more than 5 kilometres from our home. Me personally, I don't even have a shop that close. So really becoming that relatedness and experiencing that belonging, you know, that social ability to go out with your friends and just have a coffee. You know, it's something that we are pack animals, and we really need to share in that relatedness. Okay, so the 3 that come together that help with self-determination, again, are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. So again, autonomy is something that improves self-initiation, self-regulation of one's behaviour. Competence is something where you act in a level of proficiency towards something, something that's effective within your personal environment. And again, relatedness is feeling of closeness and belonging to something, whether that be, you know, family or a social group. So moving on to how do we become more self-determined? So it's important for you to understand that this isn't something that happens automatically for a lot of people, where we are naturally drawn to the idea of intrinsic motivation. We're often drawn to the idea of growth, but it does require continual sustenance, should I say. We need to keep feeding it. We need to keep on going towards it. It's like it's our driving force towards our goal, and we need to keep feeding that with the things like, you know, being the mastery of your own skills, and, you know, having that relatedness, feeling like you have control, and be able to strengthen your own self-determination is being able to think highly of yourself, and really look around you and have a look at the people within your group who you believe are highly motivated, and have a look at them and see you'd be able to see what is their driving force. Okay, our social group is always a wonderful example, and it's not about comparing yourself to others. It's just about taking note and just sitting back and going, you know, that person is so motivated. What makes that person motivated? What gives that person that drive to be who they are? Okay, so people who are highly self-determined tend to be people who, for one, believe they are in control of their lives. So they have this internal focus of control, and they have this feeling about the behaviours. They have this feeling that they can influence their own outcomes. And I think that's really important for people to understand that our brains are forever changing, and we all have the ability to make the changes that we desire. So you do have an influence over your own outcomes. You know, if you look into the research of neuroplasticity lately, it's something that is being, I know, pushed on social media all over the place, but it is science-backed. And when we're confronted with challenges, we tend to feel that we can overcome them because we've created this diligence about good choices and hard work. We've created this resilience because we know how to bounce back. Okay, the next one that they suggest highly self-determined people get is they have a high self of motivation. Okay, so that sort of goes without saying, because that's our driving force. So when I say motivation, I'm talking about internal forces, not external ones. And I spoke about that earlier. They're the ones that stay with us. They're the ones that keep pushing us along. So you really want to, you know, not heed too much. Yeah, financial rewards are great. Of course they are, makes the world go around. But to really have, if you don't have that innate force behind you, that innate motivation, then it doesn't matter how much money you have. The next one we have is we base our actions on our own goals and behaviours. So in other words, we intentionally engage in actions that we know will bring ourselves closer to our own goals. Okay, so I'll repeat that again because it is a bit different. Based on our own actions and our goals and behaviors, we intentionally engage in the actions that we know will bring ourselves closer to our own goals. Okay. The next one is we take responsibility for our actions. So we tend to take, we take credit for our own successes. We don't take credit for other people's successes, and we accept blame for our own failures. Okay, so I've got, for those of you who are on the Facebook profile, I do apologize, you can't see what I'm looking at, but I have this amazing picture on the PowerPoint presentation, and it, you know, really does go through the 3 basic needs of, you know, being congruent with yourself in regards to autonomy and having that full choice, being self-endorsed, feeling wholehearted about who you are. In regards to relatedness, it talks about a care for being connected to others, a sense of belonging, a matter to others, feeling connected. And then we have the competence. So it's all about mastering, again, your own skills. It's about your environment. It's about making space for you and who you are. And all of these 3 things are not only essential for being self-determined and having that motivation, it's really essential for your overall wellness to have these things as a part of who you are. Because if you're feeling congruent and you're feeling competent and you feel like you have a level of belonging, well, then you are going to be motivated to step forward towards your goals. So here we are in summary. So improving self-awareness, improving your decision-making skills, you feel more self-regulated, you have better goal-setting abilities, and you can encourage a growth of strength when you become more self-determined. So just rehashing what we spoke about in the webinar, we talked about how self-determination is defined as a personal decision or something or a way of thinking in a certain way. I spoke about the marathon runner and him making the decision to run a marathon without feeling he needed to ask for anybody else's opinions. It's an intrinsic motivation, so it's internal, it's innate, and it's really about having those inherent rewards about feeling good about who you are, and that's where the congruency comes in also, and really having that sense of wellness about where you are in your life and your space. So it's suggested that self-motivated people are driven by the needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. There's a level of social connectivity, and it's really one of the main components of self-determination, to have that feeling of belonging to a certain group or society. Becoming skilled in your areas that you prefer really gives you a sense of determination, because if it doesn't matter whether it's a hobby or a sport, whether it's academic, doesn't really matter what it is. But when you're learning and you're improving upon those skills, you take them to, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, you feel more competent and you feel more excited about what you're doing. And those sorts of feelings really help you push forward in life and help you reach your goals. Okay, so this was a quick webinar. As I said, I had a few glitches and I have a client coming on soon, so I had to make it a little bit quicker than I would have liked. I would like to just take a moment to mention that I do have a free 1-hour workshop on how to reshape your life on Friday, the 27th of May from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Melbourne time, Australia, for those who are watching overseas. This workshop is really about going in depth to helping you make the changes you want in your life. It does focus on our opinions that we hold about ourselves, our beliefs that we hold about ourselves, and the things that we use to hold us back. What I'll be basically doing within the workshop is helping you work out one of your I suppose, strongest beliefs that you hold about yourself. They are usually negative beliefs because we are human and that's what we do. We are our own worst critics. So I help you go through a process of helping you I suppose, pull apart that negative belief and understand where it actually come from and how we can help you move through it. So that will be a 1-hour workshop for free on Friday the 27th of May, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. You get a workbook that is printable that I also give you, so we can go through that at the workshop. And now we have social media. So you can catch me on Anchor, Empowering Ordinary Women podcast. I do upload these. I will be meeting with further coaches and doing a few interviews. So that's pretty exciting. You can find me also on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and clearly on Facebook, because that's where we are. Next week's webinar is around fear of failure, and basically it's about also your limiting beliefs and helping you work through that, because fear of failure is a massive one that we can all suffer from one reason or another. So thank you again for joining me on how to have self-determination, and if not, how can we develop it? If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a DM. I would love to hear from you, and I will speak to you all soon. Ciao.